Hey guys, it's Rachel from The Lorraine Lamb, and today I have a book review on My Not So Perfect Life by Sophie Kinsella. And I finished this book about 2 weeks ago, I would say, and I really enjoyed it. So if you're new to my book reviews or just need a refresher, before I get into this book review will be spoiler free, so don't fret if you have yet to read it. So, my rating style, I rate in 5 different categories: plot, characters, cover, suspense, and overall in terms of reading again very soon, 5 out of 5, not so soon, 1 out of 5. So basically, this book is one of my new favorite Sophie Kinsella books. Now, I've read every book penned by her, but, Sophie Kinsella is her pen name, Madeline Wickham. But I haven't read the Madeline Wickham books yet. I have 2 of them on my shelf ready to read, but I can say that out of all the Sophie Kinsella books I've read, this is definitely top tier. And it gave me the most vibes that were similar to I've Got Your Number, which I know is a favorite for a lot of people, especially people who haven't read a lot of Sophie Kinsella books. That one was immensely popular, and this one was giving me the closest feels to it. So I didn't really know much going into this. All I knew about this book going into it wasn't necessarily just focused on like a love interest, and that it centered more around work. So this book is basically about a girl named Katie who is, trying to exude the perfect image, but that is not necessarily her reality. She one day, this is all in the flap too, I just double checked just so you know. When she gets she thinks she's doing good in her marketing firm, which I believe is the correct title for, what she does. She gets actually fired, and she goes back to help her dad with his upcoming glamping business, as well as her stepmother. Helps her dad and her stepmother with their glamping business, and all this hilarity ensues, and I really enjoyed this book. I really loved how it was more centered on work aspects, but before I get more into the plot, I'm going to give my rating. I gave the plot a 5 out of 5, of course. I absolutely adored this book. I really liked how it focused more on the work aspect for most of the book. I find it really interesting, and I think Sophie Kinsella writes, when the people are working, interesting. I just find it flows nicely. It's interesting to read about. It's not mundane or boring, and she makes it very interesting, and I really just loved how the plot progressed. This book is, I think, close to 500 pages, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's 440, so not that close. But this book, it felt like had so many lives to it, and it felt really long, but not in a bad way where it's drudging on. It's a way you want to keep reading. And her books usually, I fly through them. But this book, it felt like it was taking me on a journey, and it felt like a while, but in a good way, not in a leggy, oh, I want to move on way. And I just really loved everything that happened with the plot. I think it progressed nicely. The love part was good. It wasn't overwhelming. It was more focused on Katie as an individual, which was really interesting to see, because Katie, a lot of Sophie Kinsella's books, they're contemporary, kind of like chick lit books. So there's always usually the love interest is kind of forefront, but I really liked how Katie, the main character, is put to the forefront, and her dealing with her life, and, female friendships were in this and stuff like that. So I think that was very important, and, I really liked that. And it was also going into more character side. I give characters a 5 out of 5 as well. But I really liked how the characters, they more dealt with friendships, and good friendships, bad friendships, people hating each other, how people are perceived. There's quite a few different styles of relationships being examined in this book for the reader, and I found that very interesting. All the people Katie worked with in both her places of work, from the office to the glamping business. I really liked hearing about her family. I really liked just Katie as an individual, because she was a very relatable character. A lot of the stuff that she was going through, I find Sophie Kinsella writes really relatable characters for the most part, especially when it comes to them, kind of getting swept away with everything, because there's such a need to be perfect, especially in books. A lot of characters are represented as perfect, or they're kind of idolized up on a throne, they're really idolized. And it's very important to see the characters that acknowledge that everybody's trying to be perfect, but life is not perfect. And I really liked that message, especially in this social media age. I really liked how Sophie Kinsella kind of, made her characters aware of their lives outside of social media, because a lot of the books, especially reading older books, and social media wasn't here. It wasn't a prevalent topic, but I really like that's being discussed, because it is really prevalent how people perceive you on social media, and how you perceive yourself, and what you decide to post and what you decide to leave off. So I really like those aspects. I really liked how all the characters intermingled, and I really loved Katie as a main protagonist. She's one of my favorite protagonists of Kinsella's books. And cover, I actually give a 4 out of 5. This is not my favorite cover, but I really like it at the same time. I wish it was more about the glamping business, some more dazzle, but I'm just a person who loves either really, really detailed stuff or really dazzling stuff or really simple. But this is like in the middle of that, so it was hard for me to rate it. But I like the green. And I really like how she's laying there on the grass of her phone because it is reminiscent of the social media and the glamping, and you know, large part of the book is actually dealing with outside and the glamping and stuff. So that was quite prevalent. And I really like the gold font on the white spine, and then it's just like a plain blue. And I really enjoyed that. Suspense, I give it a 5 out of 5. Yes, I said it was like a long journey, but it wasn't boring, and it did really, like, I really wanted to read it fast, but at the same time I got it when it came out, so it's like I'm gonna have to wait a while for another one of her books. So there wasn't like craziness just to get it read. Like, I have read a lot of her books. It's not like an author that I haven't read a lot of their books and like I want to catch up. So there was a suspense to read it fast, but also I was kind of enjoying myself with this, and it wasn't like, oh, it wasn't suspenseful, but as soon as I got it, kind of suspense I rate on if I'm sitting in my room, will I go to play on my phone or will I go to read it, and which one's more over the other. And this was definitely more over the other, and I really enjoyed it. Like, it was very good. And overall I give it a 5 out of 5. I definitely reread this. If you liked I've Got Your Number, yes, that one's more dealing on love interest, but I feel like the characters are very similar, not in a bad way. And I just feel like it gave me the most vibes to that. So if that's the only one you've read by her, or is that one you really liked by her, I definitely give this one a shot. This is definitely in the top tier, my favorites now. It's definitely surpassed the middle section. And I absolutely love her books, so it may be a little biased by me, but I think she is a really good writer, and her books go by fast, and yeah, beautiful writing, great storylines, great characters. This book was just killing the game. And yes, that's my book review of My Not So Perfect Life by Sophie Kinsella. If you guys have read this, definitely let's talk in the comments. I keep forgetting to say this sometimes in my reviews, but if you're going to write about spoilers, just put spoilers and then, you know, enter a few times so people won't be spoiled. I try to always remember to do that, but sometimes I'm even forgetful myself. So if we could try to do that. And yes, thank you for watching, which I think I just repeated, which I keep saying in my videos, but you know, it's still appreciation, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.